Before this video starts, I'm sorry if you can hear any background noise. I don't normally record voiceovers at this time, and I have guinea pigs munching on veggies, so if you can hear them, I'm sorry. And if you hear the occasional water bottle drink from them, I also apologize for that. Hi, hello, I'm Chrissy. Welcome back. We have the next 3 prompts for days 4, 5, and 7. Unfortunately, prompt 6 is being scrapped. Before you all get crazy on me, okay, it's not totally because of my lack of effort. Unlike prompts 4, 5, and 7, prompt 6 was actually a traditional art piece where I was painting, and the prompt was enchantment, and I was painting Wish. But during the process of me working on it in my room, I got up to take a break and I figured I would pick it back up. Well, if you don't know, my whole room setup is, I have my computer in my bedroom along with all my art stuff and even 4 guinea pigs in their cages on my floor. Yeah, my floor. They have more property in my room than I do, but I let them rule over me. Anyway, because of this, I tend to have things more crowded in my room. I record on my floor where I have a small wooden desk, my phone stand to record with a ring light. I often have cords everywhere, and in my efforts to walk out of my room, my foot got caught on the cord to my ring light, and my dumb self fell forward and yanked the cord with my foot. Because I am just that talented and smart, beautiful, kind, amazing, and I'm humble. So my ring light is currently unfixable. Rest in peace to that. I really like that light too. I was having a hard time with doing traditional art anyway, so I decided to take this as a sign to just cool it and take the L. I only have so much sunlight that comes into my room, which means if I wanted to use sunlight to light my drawing, I would have a limited time of a window to do it, and it would just be the biggest annoyance to get something different set up in the small space I do have. So I went ahead and ordered a new light. So don't worry, I will pick up traditional art again, just not for a while. I promise you it's for the best though, because my traditional art just has been very mediocre at best and not really making me very happy. So I know while a lot of you guys really like my traditional art, it's just not been it, you know what I mean? Plus my digital art has really been improving, I think, or at least I have been making so much more art with my characters that I find interesting. So without further rambling about my broken light, I should probably start talking about today's video. If you don't know already, I have started to do my own Drawtober prompts called McKween, you know, because McKween, it's funny, I like it. It's only my idea, of course. Here is the prompt list if you would like to tag along. I do 1 drawing daily based on a prompt word I have chosen, and they vary between different things. I try not to do prompt words I did last year. So if you would like to see individual drawings in a speed draw format without me talking or rambling, you can find those on my Xtra's channel. And if you would like to see the raw footage of my art with background music, you can find that on my Uncut channel. I know some of you guys like to go to my Uncut channel and play that and draw along with me or study while you can see me drawing. I've had a couple people say that, so it's nice to send some people over there just for fun. I don't do video uploads every day on my main with each piece of art because it takes a lot out of me, so I tend to just edit them for my main video and just go ahead and put the speed draw with just music on my Xtra's channel just because it's convenient, easy that way, and it's just an extra little plus bonus thing that I like to do. But doing videos like that format on my main channel would just take so much out of me. Doing a voiceover for a video is actually like really hard. Like it's really hard for me because I have so much I want to talk about, but then I completely forget what I even wanted to talk about once I hit record. And especially when I am feeling extra depressed that day, so I tend to try to do them when I'm more upbeat. So I lump prompts together into one cohesive video. That's what this is for Drawtober. I'm gonna do like a total of I think 7 or 8. So I lump prompts together, that way I can talk at different lengths about each one. Plus you can pick one that intrigues you and you don't have to listen to every single one if you don't want to. I also have always taken a liking to longer form content. There is something much more comforting about feeling like the person in the video is just having a conversation with you. Makes it a little more human than just spam loading 5-minute videos every single day to your viewers. I'm not really interested in doing that. Also, I'm really trying to get monetized at some point, so sticking around for the whole length of the video helps my watch time, so stick around if you would like to support that way. Today's drawings are all digital, like I said. We have prompts pumpkin, bat, and slime. Each drawing, per usual, is character-based, so all the characters belong to me or have been designed or redesigned by me. Most times with these prompts, I tend to start with whatever ones I want to do. So even though in the videos these are ordered by consecutive days of drawing, I jumped around and started with prompts bat, slime, and then pumpkin. Now, with all of that out of the way, I think we can jump into our first prompt speed draw. Before we get into this drawing, I just want to say I only have time for this music. This rendition of Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven, it can get it for real. Like, for real. It's been like all I've been listening to once I found it and added it to my speed draw. It also gets to a version of Ode to Joy, and I just, like, oh my gosh. I love it. I love it too much. Anyway, let's get into the drawing before the music is all I can think about. Our first prompt is prompt number 5. Pumpkin. Now, last year I did a drawing with the prompt jack-o'-lantern with my character Bluma. Bluma is sort of a witch gardener, and drawing her in a pumpkin patch with them glowing was last year's idea. And last year I did only traditional art, so this year we're doing digital art, so I think we can have a little bit more of different ideas. I think we can push the boundaries of ideas here. So I knew I didn't want to reuse that character or that idea, plus her character really isn't solidified that well. And while making a pumpkin head character design did cross my mind, I'm trying to stick to using characters I currently have, so I'm forced to expand on their designs and personalities. Bluma is a really interesting character I have, but she's not one that I really want to get into currently, so drawing her was just kind of out of the question for me. Having specific prompts is a good way to limit my options for characters, but I really didn't have many ideas for the prompt pumpkin. In fact, I have a lot of characters, but not enough to specifically like rule out for words. So when I do have a prompt word that's so specific, you really only have a toss-up between maybe 3 characters usually. Of course, I really only had one idea, but I could always just like draw a character holding a pumpkin, or like I could have drawn a character baking a pumpkin pie, or like went like a more cutesy route, like Tina, my character Tina. I could have done her baking a pumpkin pie and been like really cottagey and like homey. But like I could have, like, we can sit here and talk about what I could have done the whole time, but let's talk about what I have done and accomplished. I decided to use one of my very few actually designed villain characters. This is Void. You have seen him once in the Seriously animation meme I did not too long ago. He normally looks like Smoke dressed up in a nice suit. He only has one feature on what would be his face, that is just a cloud of smoke, or I'm not sure yet if he is made of smoke or just like an unidentifiable material. I have a few characters whose bodies are made of different things. Ikusa is a character made of paint, and Amani is a character that is made up of what looks to be a galaxy, so I'm not interested in the idea of it being like a unique matter. I definitely have experienced that. I'm just not sure what the heck Void would be, but I think I'm pretty much settling on Smoke. Void's body is unique because while he doesn't seem to have a constant physical form himself, he can take on any form he wants to, living or non-living. He is pretty much a shapeshifter. Though whatever form he takes on, there are always small details that give him away. To tell if the form he has taken on is actually him, you will find a 4-pointed star somewhere on his body. In this drawing in particular, he has taken on the form of a pumpkin as his head. On his eye, you can see points around his eye similar to a 4-pointed star. This tends to appear on all of his forms around his eyes, and he usually has a marking somewhere else on his body if he were to shift his body. I tend to have unique markings on different characters, so wherever that unique marking is on a character that he's taking form of, that's probably where that star would show up. For example, my character Cody has X's on his hands, on the outer part of his hand, so that's probably where you would find the marking where Void's star would be. Void himself, though, when in his natural state, only ever takes on one eye or one mouth. Never both at the same time. He swaps between the two. Like I said, the idea of making a character with a pumpkin head did come to mind, but I wasn't really feeling it. It didn't really make me excited. I mean, we all can agree, while it's a fun idea, for me, if the only thing that made this character unique was the pumpkin head, I would just be so bored with it. It just, like a check mark off my list, boom, pumpkin, done. Nothing else really added of detail to this character. I wanted to avoid drawing something that seemed underwhelming to me. Though Void and his pumpkin head reminds me of every other character that has ever been made with a pumpkin head, there is more to it than the design of just a character with a pumpkin head. It has that specific character element to it where he could take on any form, and this is just what he chose. The added smoke-like effect of his body adds some life and movement to it. Not only that, but the expression and his personality comes through in this drawing. I don't tend to work with villain characters often. In fact, I tend not to even use the term. These characters just tend to be a little more troubled than others. However, with Void in mind, he is the epitome of an antagonist. He works just to watch others crumble, using his shapeshifting for no other purpose than to mess with other people's lives to make them miserable. In fact, with Void, is that he actually has a religious aspect to him. When I created him, he was for me. A visualization of the negative voice in the back of my head that tends to manifest itself in many mental, physical, and spiritual ways. I feel like everyone kind of has an example of that or something they can relate to. I'm a Christian and I have been working with characters that manifest themselves through that outlet in my life. Void is no different. He is a spirit. The opposite of the Holy Spirit, in fact. After I designed Void, I made my character Spirit, my visualization of the Holy Spirit. So while yes, Void is the negative voice, there is also a positive one named Spirit. The fact I made Void before Spirit was really funny to me because joy really does come in the morning, eventually. But Void has existed much longer than Spirit. He has gone through many designs and ideas, but he seems to have settled on this one for now, except minus the pumpkin head, of course. Void wasn't always named Void. Before I even really decided what exactly he was or why I designed him, he was just a tall figure made of smoke. I was actually in a call with my twin sister Katie and my best friend Katara. Hi, hello, Katara. When I was talking about him, I think it was Katara was the one who suggested the name Void, or at least we threw around the word or the name Lloyd, and Katara or someone mentioned the fact that we should just like play off the name Lloyd and make it Void. And I don't know how we got to that concept, but I'm just gonna say I'm giving Katara credit, or it was just a group effort, because that is definitely not a Chrissy original name. It definitely wasn't just me that like got there, so I just wanted to throw that out there. One day after church, after hearing a particular sermon that I have now forgotten the specifics of, unfortunately, because I could only think of one thing, and I do remember the verse, but the one thing I could think of was the word void and how often the Bible uses it. Now, I don't claim to have any sort of incredible wisdom or knowledge. In fact, I'm incredibly ignorant in many, many ways, but I thought it was interesting of the idea that Void, my character, was the opposite of Spirit or the Holy Spirit. Because of the use of the word void in the Bible, it really inspired me to make them opposites, and here's a small little snippet of why. I came to the conclusion that Void's character and purpose was to make people's actions turn void. Their actions turn empty with no force or power, and this is the verse that had in mind. It's Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be, which goes out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish what I please, and it shall certainly do what I sent it to do. God's word, when he sends it down from heaven, does not return to him null and void. Instead, it always fulfills his purpose on earth. I heard this verse at church and it made me think of Void himself, like the little voice in the back of my head that always wants to turn my efforts away, make me purposeless, make my voice weak and turn my words empty, to turn my heart void. And I mean, that's what Satan wants to do, is make us useless creatures in an effort to make us give into our own selfish desires, thinking that that's the way to go and to turn into our flesh. While I don't dare design a character based off Satan because he doesn't deserve the time, place, or day to live rent-free in my mind, Void, the character, is a version of the small voice that can manifest itself in physical ways or maybe even through thoughts or temptations. While Spirit, on the other hand, directs us and leads us to good, selfless deeds that make us better fit to fulfill God's word. Even if you aren't a Christian or aren't religious, I think everyone can relate to that image of one demon on one shoulder and then the angel on your other shoulder, where they're arguing back and forth, you know, that good voice and that bad voice, the basis of internal conflict itself, and Void is a part of that. Now, there is some background to who Void is. Something I haven't mentioned in this whole drawing are the little creatures floating around him. Now, these creatures are created by Void. He uses his staff to control his powers and send out smaller entity forms of himself made of that similar smoky-like matter. Except these small creatures have their own personalities and unique qualities because they are created with the user's magic level in mind. Void tends to limit the amount of magic he uses through the staff when summoning many of them. This tends to make the little creatures a bit stupid and dumb. They're dumb and stupid. They're stupid and dumb. But they do his bidding, so as long as they get the job done, hey. I call them his little goons. They are just dumb little creatures created by him that don't really know any better. All they know is that they crave to make the magic user who summoned them happy. I thought adding them around Void would add some fun color difference and a fun flow of a border around him. Plus, the goons are like awfully cute. Like, they're so adorable. These little creatures too can shapeshift as well and do many things. They have magic limits, but those are up to Void. They can't ever be as powerful as Void, but if Void summoned only one of them and sent in more magic energy to it, the little guy can become a great being full of power, though that is yet to be designed. For now, they are little dumb floating creatures who are just too cute and evil. I was really happy to capture some of Void's shapeshifting powers and some of his little magic creatures. I hope to explore more of what he is. That is it for this drawing. Being just a prompt word pumpkin, I think we got something very unique out of it, but let me know what you think of the drawing or just about the character Void in general. Moving on to this next drawing, we have a much happier, lighter drawing. Our prompt number 6, is Bat. Now, if you do not know, I currently have 4 bat characters. Liam, who is a human-bat hybrid. Jagger, which you can see in the drawing being the black and purple bat. He isn't a hybrid, but is a full bat character, but unfortunately for him, he is wingless. This is something that he hates with a passion. He is found often teasing Liam for being a half-breed, but he himself doesn't even have a full set of bat wings like he should. Next is Sugar, our pastel-colored bat here. She was actually designed off of a Monster Girl character design app. She is here walking next to Jagger. These two are siblings. Sugar is sweet and kind, though she can bite, and Jagger is mean and often very cruel. However different these two are, their parents raised them that blood is thicker than water, pushing family values onto them. They tend to force themselves to get along. After a while, and I mean a long while, it wasn't too hard to look out after each other for them, and they tend to care for one another, even though Jagger won't admit it. Though Sugar shows affection more than Jagger, Jagger can't help but feel a little obligated to take care of Sugar, even if it is in like a toxic way sometimes. Like he feels that Sugar's so like too weak for her own good, so he has to step up because he's just so strong and masculine. Even though he's like such a shorty. Like, oh, it's so funny. It's like watching like a tiny chihuahua that has like the loudest bark trying to like be something he's not. Anyway, my fourth bat character is actually one I have not designed but received on Toy House from an art trade. I will do a redesign video with this character, so I figured it would still be important to mention them. So if you want to see a recent redesign come up sometime soon, let me know in the comments. Getting into the drawing, the prompt bat was easy. Just draw one of my bat characters, no big deal. I can do that, even though none of them are actually fully designed, but I can do that. This drawing is a little different. While it gets to express a character's personality, it also gets to showcase a dynamic relationship with the two characters. While it seems simple enough, there are actually small details to this drawing that sticks out to me. Sugar's distracted gaze on her surroundings and arm looped around Jagger's arm makes me notice how comfortable she is. Letting Jagger lead her forward, she is eager to look around at everything else, trusting him to lead the way. Jagger, while always in mind of how he appears, doesn't actually mind having her arm looped around his. Though he will never admit it, he enjoys the bright energy that his younger sister brings to the table. He often, in moments of weakness, treats her with cold bitterness, but in moments like these, his walls fall ever so slightly. Image means everything to Jagger, and while at first he often thought of her as a weakness to his image, he has now seen that maybe she can be helpful to him. She isn't all that bad. Jagger doesn't really go out of his way to do things for Sugar, but he is often there at the right time and place when she needs him the most at the absolute last minute when he decides it's the right thing to do. Getting to this point was really hard for the both of them. Though Jagger in his self-righteous way may never change, Sugar has always accepted her brother for who he is. Even when she hates him, she still does what's right. She loops their arms together even when Jagger protests that she not be so close to him. It shows her strength and her resilience. She is just as good as he is. She can walk next to him and carry her own. That is why Jagger thinks of her as an asset to him. Not because she brings him up, but because she can bring up her own. He doesn't have to worry about her often. She isn't the weak little girl he used to see her as. She is his sister, of course, so she's related to him. Why wouldn't she be great? A fun fact about Jagger is that he is actually a musician and singer. Of course, I feel like his outfit gives away to what kind of music he would listen to. He actually tends to go to like a lot of raves, hanging out with his band, and getting to have like little jam sessions around the city he lives in. Though he doesn't invite Sugar, she often still tags along. One of my favorite things about these two are their colors. While both characters have their share of saturated colors, Jagger has those dark cool tones and Sugar has those like bright light pastels. It makes them such a fun contrast when stood next to each other, but their like saturated colors tie them together so nicely. Plus they have like fun markings played of the shape of a star and like throughout their outfits as well. Even if by the end of the day they hate each other, they can't help but respect the other in their own ways. It took Jagger a long time to see that, but Sugar has always seen that in her brother. That drive to be the best and do your best, she admires that wholeheartedly. Though Jagger's intentions aren't always good ones, she sees that his drive is so genuine. He wants to be the best because of his works. He wants to work his best at being the best singer above everyone else, so he must believe that he's the best. Even when it's exhausting and lonely at the top, and sometimes the top doesn't look as shiny or glamorous as you thought it would be, Jagger respects Sugar's carefree attitude. She could not care at all what other people think about her. Jagger, on the other hand, may act like he doesn't care, but he cares immensely what other people think about him. His image needs to be perfect, and the fact that he is also a wingless bat just makes that need to fill the emptiness he has even bigger. Jagger is not a good person. In fact, he knows that he often doesn't do the right thing, and he still chooses the wrong thing, choosing himself before others, even over his sister. He comes through in the end, but boy, does it take him a long time to realize that. This drawing with them walking side by side is a resolve. It might just be that day's solution, but it's a moment of pure content nonetheless. I really love drawings like these that show seasons of life, where a character grows or matures into something new we have never seen from them. Jagger isn't often seen in this light, and it's a breath of fresh air for Sugar, I'm sure. One day I will have to get more into their more toxic sibling traits, but today we get to see a good one. This is the first ever finished art of these two. I didn't even realize I wanted to make them siblings until this drawing. I had just planned on doing a cute little drawing of Jagger walking, just something simple though, now that I think about it. He was also supposed to be holding Sugar's sun umbrella because, you know, bats and the sun don't really mix, and it was supposed to be like a cute play on the fact that he's embarrassed to hold her umbrella because it looks girly, but she's making him do it anyway. So I forgot that. That's my bad. But imagine that I did that. That would have been fun, yeah? This is a great start to their character development for sure. This being their first ever drawing, I am glad I got to draw them together, even if it wasn't the intended goal. That's my favorite part of these kinds of challenges and just character art in general. You really don't know what you're going to come up with until you just start. The creative ideas just flow into your mind once you get going. It only takes a small idea to start something big, so having a prompt word as simple as bat really helps. That will be it for this drawing. Let me know what you think of these two. And if you would like to see more of them, I would really be interested in doing an animation with both of them or just one of them. It just takes a while for me to be inspired with particular music in mind. I don't get too many of my characters with music that matches them. These two, though, I think I can manage something. Lastly, moving on to our last drawing of the day, our prompt 7, is slime. We actually have a character design, kind of. It wasn't intentionally a character design, but I've never done any real art of this character or anything like colored. Just like scrapped little sketches of him, and you'll see me like flip between them while I'm sketching him. But this is a Chrissy original. This is a Chrissy original character. He just popped into my sketchbook one day and presented himself, and I went, sure. I went with it. Just one of those characters that you just create to create. His name's Todd, okay? Todd is a character made of slime, hence why he fits the prompt word slime. I wanted him to be dressed in nice clothes, something that makes him at first look sophisticated and smart and intelligent, and then that is until you spend 1 second with him and you realize he is as clueless and clumsy as they get. He's a little dumb boy. He got nothing going up in that head. Nothing. His long limbs make it awkward for him to move around in a fluid manner. Because of his clumsiness, he often doesn't realize his creation power activating, creating little slime balls from his form that falls onto the ground. These little guys, when created involuntarily and in a stable state, are usually quite harmless and don't do much other than stare into your soul and look adorable at doing it. I love little slimes who can multitask. Stare into your soul, looking adorable doing it. I really do love the idea of characters having little creatures paired with them. And having little creatures they can spawn or create is so fun to me. Right now, Void and Todd are the only ones I can think that do this. I'm sure I'll create more characters that have little minions. Though the little slime balls now are very simple designs. I love making little creature designs, and making them paired with characters adds a quality to them I'm not even sure how to describe. Todd and his little slimes are just meant to be, you know what I mean? I also love his color palette. Green and yellow are my favorite colors, and after that is pink. But green and yellow are my first two favorite colors. And I don't have many characters with colors quite like this. I have an unnecessary amount of pink colors, though. Pink and purple, I have no idea why. His lanky body type is one I find very fun and comfortable drawing, though here was a little more difficult since while I was drawing him for the first time, I was also designing him and solidifying different things about him, so pose fluidity wasn't something I was really focused on. And whenever I draw a new male character, they often are so unique, because when I think of male characters, I can only think of a couple body types that I normally do off the top of my head, so I tend to have to over-create an idea to come up with something that will just be completely in and of itself. I don't come up with male characters as easily as I do female characters, so when I do, they tend to be so perfectly themselves, and Todd does not stray from that idea. I am very much looking forward to where he sits in my little world. Usually when drawing a character, I learn more about them and where they have come from. Todd is a carefree, little dumb slime guy. He doesn't know much, so he doesn't tell me much. I'm okay with that. As long as he exists, that's all I need from him. I guess that's what makes a comfort character a comfort character. As long as I keep drawing him, he lives on. And there is something so beautiful about that. Like, not only is a character like this so specifically created from the artist's mind, it can only be replicated in a way that the artist can make it. No one can capture the way you draw your character. No one else can experience that kind of relationship with your character. It's just you and your art. I think that's why I'm so drawn to things like this. Characters like Todd, like, so simple, yet there is so much more to it than anyone else understands. No one can see 100% of what the artist sees. Like, you, the viewer, only gets to see a glimpse of what this character could mean. I might be a little dramatic, but art is much more important to the artist than the viewer is to the artist. While, yeah, the viewer is often what puts added money value to the art, there is a set value already there based on how the artist sees it. And that value will, like, always be greater. Because there's something so indescribable about that value. Not only does this character get to be created by the artist's hands, it was created in a certain time, place, and day with certain emotion, energy, and creativity behind it. Even small characters like Todd, they have, like, my whole heart. I don't think I expressed that enough. I think people will think I'm crazy, but it's true. While, yes, Todd did start as a little scrap doodle in my sketchbook, he still found a way to sneak back in and, like, get to be created fully. Big ideas start small, big dreams start small, and I think Todd's a cute little dream. He's playful and charming. And I don't know, there's something so sweet about him. This drawing, though, was just a regular full body that I started with cell shading, and then it kind of became a little bit more than that. But that wraps it up for Todd and our prompt slime. Let me know if you would like more of him. In fact, let me know of any characters of mine you would like to see more of. I do have my toy house linked below in case one of you guys would like to scroll through my characters. This is all of it for our second McKween Drawtober video. Let me know which drawing was your favorite. I may finish prompt 6 eventually and put it into a video. If I don't, I will just finish it on my own time. So don't worry about it. It'll get done. Please let me know if you are doing any art in the month of October. I love seeing you guys send stuff in the Discord or to me. It's all like so cute. I love seeing other people's art. With that being said, we have hit the end of the video. Thanks for sticking around. My watch time hours, thank you, and I do too. I actually wrote some stuff down for this video, so I'm sorry if it sounds like a little weird. I tend to ramble, but I think I should get better at voiceover stuff, so I thought trying like somewhat of a script again would be like helpful to remember what I wanted to say and what I wanted to go over. And of course I still kind of ramble in between stuff. You let me know what you think, and that's all I have for today. I will see you in the next round of prompts. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Let the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. God bless you and have a wonderful day / night. I'll see you in the next one.